All right, we're diving into something pretty interesting today. Using the law of attraction to find love. We've got this guide that claims it's got like the secrets to attracting the perfect partner.
Okay.
And it even mentions like some celebrity success stories, Oprah, Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious to see what's in here.
Well, it's interesting because the law of attraction, we can call it LOA.
Okay.
It's not like, just wishing on a star for something.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about like the core idea is that our thoughts and energy actually influence like what we experience.
Okay.
So when it comes to love, your beliefs about relationships and the energy that you're putting out there can actually shape your reality.
So if I'm like always thinking dating is just a nightmare or like I'm just destined to be alone, the LOA is saying I'm basically like inviting those experiences.
Yeah, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, kind of.
Yeah.
But the good news is you have the power to actually, change that script.
Okay.
You can by shifting your mindset towards, self-love and positive expectations.
Right.
And getting clear about what kind of partner you actually want.
Yeah.
You can start to attract something totally different.
Okay.
And so this guide, it claims that celebrities like Oprah and Jim Carrey, they've used LOA for love. So we'll look at those examples for sure. Yeah.
That's pretty wild. But let's get practical here.
Mm-hmm.
How do you actually use this LOA thing to find love?
Right.
Like, where do you even start?
Well, this guide, it outlines 10 steps.
Okay.
And the first one is all about clarity.
Okay.
It's called Define Your Ideal Relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And they recommend a writing exercise where you actually get really specific about, the qualities and the values and even like the emotional depth you're looking for in a partner.
Right.
It's about going beyond just the superficial things.
Right. So it's not just about like looks or, what kind of job they have.
Exactly.
It's about, deeper.
It's about the core of who they are.
Yeah.
And how you guys connect on a deeper level.
So I imagine just wishing for a good partner is a little too vague for the universe to work with.
Yeah, that's like putting in a takeout order.
Right.
But not saying what you want to eat.
Exactly. Yeah. But how do you know if you're being realistic with your vision or just kind of getting lost in a fantasy?
That's a really important point to bring up.
Yeah.
It's not about creating like a checklist of impossible demands, right?
Right.
It's about what really matters to you, the core values,
Yeah.
the qualities that really matter to you, the kind of person who would make you feel loved and respected.
Right.
And supported.
Supported, yeah.
It's about like envisioning a healthy and fulfilling relationship.
The kind of relationship that feels good on a soul level, not just a surface level.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the next step? How do you go from like daydreaming about this perfect partner to actually, calling them into your life?
That takes us to step 2.
Okay.
And this is where Oprah's example is really powerful. Self-love is key.
Okay.
The guide stresses that, before you can even attract a loving partner, you need to cultivate that self-love and confidence.
Okay.
It's about recognizing your own worth and treating yourself with kindness and respect.
So you can't expect someone to love you if you don't love yourself first.
Right.
It's like you can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. You got it.
Yeah.
And Oprah's story is a great illustration of that.
Yeah.
She's talked openly about how she focused on personal growth
Okay.
and self-love before entering her long-term relationship with Stedman Graham.
Right.
And she believed that her inner work was super essential
Yeah.
in attracting that healthy and lasting partnership. It wasn't about like finding someone to complete her,
Right.
but rather sharing her already full life with someone who complemented her.
Oprah is definitely someone I admire. So that's a really good point. Okay, so self-love is foundational.
Right.
What's next in this love manifesting journey?
Step 3 is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Visualize, don't just dream.
Okay.
And the guide says it's not enough to just, passively hope for love. You actually need to visualize it.
Okay.
Engage all your senses.
Wow.
And truly feel the emotions as if the relationship already exists.
So we're talking about more than just like daydreaming here.
It's about creating a vivid picture.
Okay.
And like immersing yourself in those feelings. Like imagine going on dates, having these deep conversations, feeling that joy and connection.
Yeah.
And really embody that reality in your mind.
Okay.
And so the idea is that by like consistently feeling those positive emotions, you're basically aligning your energy with the love you want to attract.
I can kind of see how that might work.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're sending a signal to the universe.
Right.
Like, hey, this is what I'm ready for.
Yeah, it's about aligning your inner world.
Okay.
So your thoughts, your feelings, and beliefs
Mm-hmm.
with that desired outcome.
Yeah.
And this guide mentions that Jim Carrey, he used visualization not just for his acting career,
Oh, wow.
but for attracting these fulfilling relationships.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So it's not just for like career goals.
Right. It can be for any area of life.
All areas of life.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've got our vision.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on self-love. We're visualizing.
Right.
What else can get in the way
Well, good question.
of manifesting love? What if you're doing all the one things, but you're like still struggling with those self-doubts?
You know, that brings us to step 4,
Okay.
which addresses those inner obstacles,
Okay.
bust those negative beliefs.
Okay.
And the guide says that sometimes it's our subconscious mind that's holding us back
Mhm.
with negative beliefs about love.
Right.
Even when we're consciously trying to manifest something really positive,
Yeah.
it's like having a mental block
Right.
that prevents love from floating freely.
Yeah, I think we all have those negative beliefs to some extent, right? It's
Right.
like, I'm not good enough, or relationships always end in heartbreak.
Yeah.
But how do you like actually bust those beliefs? Do you just tell them to go away?
I wish it were that easy.
Right.
This guide, it suggests like actively identifying those limiting beliefs.
Okay.
Okay. And then writing down positive affirmations to counteract them.
Okay.
So, for example, if your negative belief is, I'll never find someone who really gets me,
Mm-hmm.
who really understands me, you could try writing an affirmation like, I am worthy of a deep and fulfilling love,
Okay.
and the perfect partner for me exists.
Oh, okay.
You see?
Yeah.
So it's about consciously replacing those negative thought patterns
Okay.
with more empowering ones.
So it's about like retraining your brain to focus on what you want
Exactly.
instead of what you don't want.
Yeah.
Like weeding out the negative thoughts and planting seeds of positivity.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
It's about cultivating a mental and emotional environment where love can actually flourish.
Okay. I love that. This is all making a lot of sense.
Good.
But, let's be honest. Sometimes life just doesn't go according to plan.
Right.
What happens if you're doing all this work, but you're still single?
Yeah.
How do you keep the faith when the results aren't showing up as quickly as you'd like?
Well, that's where step 5 comes in.
Okay.
Gratitude and acting as if.
Okay.
The guide emphasizes that even when, things aren't going exactly as you pictured, it's crucial to practice gratitude for what you already have
Right.
and to act as if you're already in that loving relationship you desire.
Acting as if. What does that actually look like in practice?
Right.
Does that mean like pretending to have a partner when you don't?
No, it's not about faking a relationship or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's about embodying the energy of someone who is already experiencing that love.
Okay.
So think about how you would feel,
Yeah.
and behave if you were already deeply in love.
Okay.
You'd probably be more joyful, more confident, more open to connection.
Right. Yeah.
You might start, taking better care of yourself, pursuing activities you love, and just radiating positive energy.
Yeah.
It's about aligning your actions and your energy with the state of being that you want to attract.
So it's about like becoming the kind of person who is ready for love and acting in ways that reflect that readiness,
Yeah.
even if you haven't met your partner yet.
Exactly. You got it.
Okay.
And the guy, it highlights Will and Jada Pinkett Smith
Oh, okay.
as an example.
Okay.
They've spoken about how they used visualization, gratitude,
Okay.
and positive affirmations to actually manifest their relationship.
Wow.
So they essentially decided to act as if they were already the power couple they envisioned.
Right.
And as their beliefs and actions aligned, their reality began to reflect that.
I'm seeing a pattern here.
Yeah.
It's not just, wishing for love.
Right.
It's about actively aligning like your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions
Right.
with the kind of love that you want to experience.
It's about embodying the energy of what you want to attract.
Yeah.
Exactly. This idea of alignment is like really fundamental to understanding LOA.
Okay.
And the guide, it actually refers to it as raising your vibrational frequency, meaning like you're basically putting yourself on the same wavelength as the love you're seeking.
Vibrational frequency, it sounds a little a woo-woo, but I think I get it.
Yeah.
It's like tuning into a radio station.
Right.
Just like you need to tune your radio to the right frequency to hear a specific station.
Exactly.
You need to align your energy with the love you want to attract.
That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And the more you practice, gratitude, self-love, positive thinking, acting as if, the stronger your signal becomes.
Yeah.
You're turning up the volume on your love frequency.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a lot to take in. We've covered the first 5 steps.
Wow.
And I'm already feeling, like, inspired.
Good.
But we're only halfway through this guide.
Right.
What other love manifesting secrets are in here for us?
Well, we still have 5 more steps.
Okay.
Including some really interesting insights from Steve Harvey's unexpected love story.
Oh, okay.
So we'll dive into those in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, I'm ready.
Great.
Okay, I'm ready for more. We left off on step 5, which was all about gratitude and acting as if.
Right.
What's next in this love manifesting journey?
Well, building on that, foundation of self-love, positive energy, step 6 focuses on the environment you create for yourself.
Okay.
It's called Surround Yourself with Love and Positivity.
So it's not just like the people you're dating, but it's the
Yes.
whole
It's about the whole ecosystem, right?
ecosystem of relationships in your life.
Yeah.
Like friends, family, even like the online communities you're part of.
Totally, all of it, yeah.
Interesting.
It's about being mindful of the energy you're allowing in your space,
That makes sense. Because if you're hanging out with people who are like always complaining about relationships or like stuck in these negative patterns,
Right,
it's probably not the best environment for like cultivating love.
right.
Right.
It's like trying to grow a garden in a desert.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's not about, cutting people out of your life
Right.
who are going through challenges, but more about
Yeah.
consciously choosing to spend time in environments that feel supportive and uplifting.
Right.
The people, the energy you surround yourself with,
Mhm.
it can either nourish your heart
Yeah.
or drain it, right?
Yeah. Okay, so positive people, positive vibes, check. What's next?
So now that we've clarified our vision,
Right.
we're cultivating that supportive environment.
Yeah.
Step 7 invites us to kind of surrender a bit of control.
Ooh, okay.
This one's called Let Go and Trust the Process.
Okay.
And and it can be a tricky one
Right.
for a lot of people, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because
Definitely with love.
especially with love, yeah. The guide emphasizes that trying to control every detail of how love will show up can actually sabotage the entire process.
Oh, I know that trap all too well.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, universe, I did all the steps. Where's my soulmate already?
Right, exactly.
Like we live in a culture of instant gratification.
Right,
know.
right.
So it's easy to get impatient when it comes to matters of the heart.
It's definitely a challenge, for sure.
Yeah.
The LOA is not about, putting in an order and
Yeah.
expecting, like, instant delivery.
Right.
It's more about, like, setting intentions, doing the inner work, and then trusting that the universe
Right.
has a bigger plan.
Right.
Right? Sometimes it means letting go of, like, our limited perspective
Yeah.
and surrendering to the flow of life.
That makes me think about like the placebo effect. Like science has shown that, our beliefs can have a really powerful effect on our physical health,
Right.
even if it's like just a sugar pill,
Yeah. Right.
So maybe it's not so far-fetched to think that our beliefs about love could also, influence our experiences.
That's a fascinating connect again.
Yeah.
And this guide actually uses Steve Harvey's love story
Oh,
to illustrate this principle of, letting go and trusting the process.
Yeah.
Remember, like, he had those 2 previous marriages that ended in divorce.
Right. He has spoken pretty openly about that journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And seems like he really like transformed his approach to love.
He did. He did. For a while there, he felt like he was unlucky in love, but then he really shifted his focus inward.
Right.
He worked on himself and he decided to trust that the right person would come along.
Yeah.
When the time was right.
Right.
And then he met his current wife, Marjorie.
Yeah.
And it just it seemed like it happened out of the blue.
He wasn't even like looking for a relationship at that time, right?
No, he wasn't.
They just like met at a comedy show?
Yeah, they met at a comedy show and he just knew.
Yeah.
And so it's like, the universe orchestrated that whole meeting.
Yeah.
And he really credits, his willingness to let go
Yeah.
and trust the timing
Yeah.
as a key factor in finding lasting love.
It's kind of like sometimes the best things happen when we least expect them.
Totally.
Yeah, that's a good reminder. It's
Yeah.
like, we don't always know what's best for us or what's around the corner.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got to surrender control, trust the timing. What's next?
Step 8 emphasizes cultivating those positive emotions.
Okay.
It's called raise your emotional frequency.
Okay.
And it's all about recognizing that our emotions kind of act as these energetic magnets. So
Okay.
if you're, walking around feeling lonely or desperate for love, and you're basically, broadcasting that energy out
Yeah.
into the world.
Right. And attracting more of the same.
And attracting more of the same, yeah.
Right.
It's like tuning into that radio station again.
Yeah.
If you're tuned into a frequency of sadness or lack,
Yeah.
that's what you're going to get.
Right.
But if you tune into a frequency of, joy, love, and gratitude,
Okay.
that's what you'll start to attract.
I'm really liking this analogy.
Good.
It makes this whole idea of vibrational frequency like so much easier to grasp.
Yeah, yeah.
So how do you actually like shift your emotional state?
Well, the guide, it suggests things like, meditation, affirmations, journaling, doing things that bring you joy.
Right.
It's about like consciously
Yeah.
choosing thoughts and activities that uplift you and elevate your mood.
So instead of like dwelling on the fact that you're single,
Right.
maybe you spend time with loved ones, pursue a hobby, do something kind for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the guide even suggests like just spending a few minutes each day
Okay.
focusing on those feelings of love.
Okay.
Imagine your heart radiating love, visualize yourself surrounded by loving relationships,
Yeah.
or just recall, happy memories.
Okay.
The key is to really immerse yourself in those positive feelings.
Yeah, it's like creating an inner sanctuary of love.
Yeah.
Okay, so positive vibes, emotional alignment. What's next?
Step 9 reminds us that, while our thoughts and feelings are super powerful, action is also really essential.
Okay.
It's called take inspired action.
Okay.
So it's about aligning your actions with your intentions,
So it's not enough to just sit on the couch visualizing your soulmate, right?
Right.
You actually have to like get out there,
You gotta get out
then
there.
create those opportunities.
You gotta create the opportunities. Yeah, exactly. And this isn't about forcing things
Right.
or, going on a million dates.
Yeah.
It's about being intentional
Right.
with your actions and making choices
Yeah.
that support your love goals.
So it might look like, joining a group or a club related to your interests, volunteering for a cause you care about,
Right.
or just like being more open to connecting with people you encounter in your everyday life.
All those things, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about putting yourself out there in these authentic ways, trusting that the universe will guide you, to the right connections.
And it's also about taking steps to like become the best version of yourself.
Of course, yeah.
Like addressing any patterns or behaviors that might be holding you back in love.
That's an important piece of it, for sure.
Yeah, it's about creating that alignment.
Yeah.
Not just in your outer world, but also in your inner world.
Exactly. It's a holistic approach to love, really.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's encompassing all these aspects of ourselves. Okay, so we got to take action, trust the timing. What's the final piece of this puzzle?
Well, that brings us to step 10.
Okay.
Which can be one of the most challenging, but also the most rewarding.
Right.
It's be patient and trust the divine timing.
Patience is definitely not my strong suit.
Yeah, it's hard for a lot of us.
But I can see how impatience and doubt, like it can create resistance, right?
Totally.
It's almost like you're pushing love away.
Right.
Instead of inviting it in.
You're sending those mixed signals out to the universe.
Right, yeah.
It's about surrendering to that flow of life and trusting that everything is unfolding in its own perfect time.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that, like, sometimes the most beautiful things take time to blossom.
They do. Yeah.
And sometimes what we think we want isn't necessarily what's best for us in the long run.
Right.
Maybe the universe has something even more amazing in store.
You got it. It's about surrendering to that mystery.
Yeah.
And magic of life.
Right.
And trusting that the journey is just as important as the destination.
Yeah.
So there you have it, all 10 steps to manifesting love.
Wow. What a journey. We've covered so much ground, from self-love and visualization to, taking action, trusting the timing. This guide's been full of really practical tips.
Yeah.
Inspiring examples. But I got to ask, like, do you personally believe in all this LOA stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to, like, read about it.
Right.
But do you think it's, like, actually possible to manifest the love you want just by, changing your thoughts, your actions?
I think it really comes down to, like, how willing you are to embrace the power of your own mind and energy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're just going through the motions, but
Yeah.
but deep down you don't really believe it's possible,
Right.
then you're probably going to create that reality for yourself,
Right.
you know? It's like planting a seed in barren soil. It's
Yeah.
unlikely to thrive.
So you're saying belief is like an essential ingredient in this whole thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
If you approach it with like a genuine belief that you deserve love
Mm-hmm.
and that you have the power to attract it,
Yeah.
you know, that's when the magic really starts to happen.
Okay.
It's like you're switching on this inner light
Yeah.
that makes you more magnetic and receptive to love.
It's almost like you're creating a self-fulfilling prophecy,
Right.
but in a positive way.
Yeah.
Like if you believe you're worthy of love,
Mm-hmm.
you're more likely to like act in ways that attract love,
Totally.
and then that just reinforces your belief.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a beautiful cycle.
It is. It's about stepping into a new story about yourself
Okay.
and about love. You know,
Wow.
it's not about denying any challenges or past heartbreaks,
Right.
but it's about choosing to believe that a new chapter is possible.
Yeah.
A chapter that's filled with love and connection.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive.
Good.
I think we've all, gained some really valuable insights into the law of attraction
Right.
and how we can use it
Yeah.
to create more fulfilling relationships,
Totally.
It's not about like manipulating other people or
Right.
forcing things to happen,
Mm.
but it's about like aligning ourselves with the love we desire
Mm-hmm.
and taking inspired action to make it a reality.
You captured it perfectly.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that we have more power than we think
Right.
to shape our experiences, including our love lives.
I mean, before we wrap up, is there like one key takeaway
Yeah.
you want our listener to walk away with today?
If you truly believed you could manifest your ideal partner, what would you start doing differently today?
That's such a powerful question.
Yeah.
It challenges us to like move beyond the what ifs and the doubts
Mm-hmm.
and to step into a space of possibility.
It's about shifting from, what if it doesn't work
Yeah,
to what if it does?
right.
And when you embrace that shift in perspective,
Yeah.
everything changes.
You start to see like opportunities where you once saw obstacles.
Totally.
You take risks you might have avoided before.
Right.
You radiate a different energy,
Mm-hmm.
and that energy attracts a different kind of experience.
Exactly. And you never know,
Yeah.
that simple shift in belief might be all it takes
Right.
to unlock the love story you've been dreaming of.
This has been such an inspiring conversation.
Good.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us today.
Of course, my pleasure.
And to our listener, remember, you are worthy of love.
Yes.
And you have the power to create the relationship of your dreams.
You do.
Until next time, keep those hearts open and those vibes high.
Absolutely. Me too.